Bag Buzz. I am Tammy, and today we are going to be talking about the most popular and in-demand Hermes colors that hold the best resale value, and then there are colors that don't hold the best resale value and are not as popular. And the reason I want to make this video is just for those that want the information when investing in a bag. It's not to say have this information in mind when buying a bag, but in case you ever need to resell that bag, just know there are colors that are very popular and could sell for a premium price, and then there are colors that are going to take a lot more time to sell and are just not as popular. Keep in mind, this is not to deter you from buying what you love. If you love these colors, buy what you love. Just know that there are some colors that are not as popular that you're gonna find in an amazing, amazing price on the resale secondary market, whereas you may not have to waste your quota and your profile building, your pre-spend on buying this bag, because the last thing I want is some of our clients to be disappointed. I've seen this in working in Luxe Couture, that clients get this brand new beautiful bag offer, for example, Rose de Peur. I personally got offered that bag as my first Birkin bag in the boutiques, and then to find out it has a very low resale value compared to other pinks or other colors I could have gotten. I wish I had known this information before taking that offer, because Rose de Peur is one of them that made this list. And you may be wondering, where am I getting this information from? Where is this data coming from? Working in Luxe Couture for 7 years and being in the designer Hermes resale industry for over 10, I have the report here that shows, based on the surveys, the high sell rate of certain designer Hermes bags, Hermes colors, and the least popular, and what takes longer to sell and what's not selling and what's not in demand. These are what made the list. So let's get into it. I'll also be captioning them below for your reference, but you're gonna see all the colors up here for reference. So the colors that made the popularity list and that hold the best value, of course, are black, gold, Etoupe, Etane, the neutrals, the original 4 neutral colors that Hermes started with. But let's get into the more in-depth colors that you may have never heard of, which is like Gris Asphalt, Gris Muet. Oh, let me actually apologize in advance for mispronouncing any of these names, because I'm not very French. A lot of these colors, there's over 250 Hermes colors. Half of them I can't even pronounce, but I'm gonna try my best. And you're gonna see the word up here as well. So going into the browns, a really, really popular, actually one of my favorites is Biscuit and Chai. I personally own Chai in my collection, and I don't think I would switch it out for gold. So if you don't have gold in your collection, you may wanna consider Chai or Biscuit. Into the neutrals, Cray and Nata are head-to-head in the cream beiges. They actually rank higher in the popularity scale over white. So if you are considering you want a white bag, perhaps you might want a creamier off-white, because these have the best resale value in terms of light beiges. Then we have some colors that made it on the popularity list that aren't neutral, and it is a Blue Broom, Vert Criquet, and those ones are like beautiful pastel blue and green, and they are a newer color, so maybe that is also why it made the popularity list as of 2024. Keep in mind that fashion trends change throughout the years, and we're gonna tie it back to knowing that this is just information from the previous years of 2024. There is one color I think is gonna go very strong that was on the unpopular list, but we'll get to that later. And then we have Vert Jade, very similar to Malachite, and Malachite is also a very, very premium, beautiful color. In the pinks, we have 3 pinks that made the most popular pink list. So if you're considering a pink, it is Bubblegum Pink. This is actually the harder one to find because it was only released for a few years. And then we have Rose Confetti, and of course, you guys all knew Rose Sakura was gonna make it on that list, a beautiful pastel baby pink. So let's go into the Hermes colors that are the least popular and don't hold their value as much. I'm also going to be doing an interview with Lana from Luxe du Jour, talking about how she picked her first color, what was her first color, as well as I'm also going to talk about the most underrated color that I absolutely love personally. But getting into the least popular Hermes colors that don't hold their value as much. And it is Vert Anis, Brick, Rose Pure, Terre Battue, very similar. You're gonna see like Terre Battue and Brick and Sanguine. Sanguine made it on this list. They all have that similar brick color, a kind of brassy orange red color. And I'm seeing a kind of trend in the least popular colors. There's a lot of reds on here and in between colors like corals, browns, in between reds. Then we have Bougainville and Capucine and Rubis. Rubis is kind of in between red and purple, so I'm seeing a lot of in between colors that made it on to the not popular list. And I think how I could see this is because when you buy a color, you really want it to be true to maybe that one color, because if you want the other color, then you're kind of in a little bit of a pickle. I'm not sure, but let's get through all the colors. For the blues, there was Vert Bosphore and Blue Jean that made it on the non-popular list. Now, this is the color, Blue Jean, that I think is going to make a comeback in 2024 because of how strong denim is going in the fashion world as of 2024. So I'd be interested to see the new report coming out the years later to see how Blue Jean does in terms of popularity. But if you're looking for really amazing prices on Blue Jean, Birkins or Kellys or in any other style, you'll find that on the pre-loved market for amazing, amazing prices, oftentimes close to retail or below retail. Whereas like my favorite blue is Blue Celeste, a much more vibrant baby blue. It's like a sky blue. So if you like that, that's gonna be much higher than Blue Jean. Then we have multiple yellows that made it on this list. And honestly, I'm actually not surprised. These are actually colors that I personally don't like, and it is curry, cumin, and lime. And I think the reason why a lot of yellows made it onto the non-popular list is because yellow is just a color that's hard to pair with everything and hard to kind of go with most people's wardrobes, and a very seasonal color. You can't really wear yellow in fall. Could you? Honestly, I'm not an influencer, but I guess like yellow is just not as popular and it's just very hard to pair. And it's just such a bold color. So those are the three yellows that made it on this list. And then for purples, we have Raisin. Raisin was the least popular purple that made it onto this list. We already talked about Rose Pure that made it onto this list, which is very similar to Capucine as well. It's kind of in that coral. And then there was a salmon color, Crevette. And this color doesn't get released often, but there's so many of them on the pre-owned market, the resale market of Crevette, and you'll see the prices are amazing for this color. So if you love a salmon, a light salmon color, Crevette is a great to buy on the pre-owned market, but don't buy it brand new in stores if they re-release the color. And let me see if I'm missing any. Oh, we have a brown that made it onto this list, a Benny. So a Benny's is really dark cacao brown, and that was one of the least popular browns next to Brick. But I want to also talk about chocolate. Chocolate used to be on the non-popular list, but you won't believe in 2023, we've seen so many clients, high in demand, chocolate on gold hardware. So that's just to prove to you that because fashion trends change and the market changes, Hermes releases new and different colors, you never know what colors could come back into play and just be extremely popular and in demand. And now it's so hard for us to find a chocolate Birkin to fulfill all the wish lists that our clients are looking for at Luxe du Jour. I hope this guide was a little bit helpful in terms of most popular colors and least popular colors. We're gonna interview Lana and talk about what was her color she chose. We have Lana here from Luxe du Jour, and I really wanted to interview you on what was your first Hermes color, and
Okay.
why did you pick that color, and do you regret it up
Okay.
to today? So let's get into that first.
Okay. I will say, since working here, obviously I've seen a lot of colors come in, and I was just kind of waiting for that right color, but I knew that I wanted something neutral because most of my closet is neutral tone, lots of blacks, beige. So I wanted something that I could wear with a lot of different outfits. I wanted to be able to get a lot of use out of it. So for my first bag, I ended up going with Gris Tourterelle. And it's like a beautiful beige, but it has these like soft
I didn't
gray
even know that,
undertone.
and that was actually the underrated color.
Really?
It's
my favorite.
I wanted to mention in the beginning of this video. I said I want to mention one of my favorite underrated colors that doesn't get enough love, and it is. I call it Gris tea for short because you know that Gris Tourterelle. It's like Worcestershire sauce.
Yeah.
I can't say that for the life of me. Gris
I'm
Tourterelle.
probably butchering how it's pronounced, but it's,
Okay, so I didn't know that. I thought it was always that gold picotin.
No, so then that was my second purchase because same, I still wanted to stick with a neutral color, and I just thought, okay, with gold, you can't go wrong. So with my second purchase, which was the picotin, I went with gold on gold. And
Classic,
probably,
iconic.
that's like my most used bag, I will say.
And that was on the most popular, of course. Gold on gold, if you can get offered that in stores, without a doubt, you should get that because those sell for premiums. And it's hard to get, even though you can find it on the resale market, they're just so high.
Yes.
But luckily you work at Luxor, you got a discount.
I got a good deal.
But, okay, and then do you regret those colors?
No. I will say absolutely not. Definitely do not regret purchasing either of those. I have used them both quite a bit, and I find that they're just easy to wear because, like I said, the color just goes with so many different outfits.
So, fun fact, 5 or 6 years ago? 5 or 6 years ago, I bought a pre-owned Birkin 30 Gris Tourterelle as well, gold hardware. Actually, I have a picture. If I have that picture in my Instagram, I have that. And I have that exact same bag. And what's interesting about colors, since we're all on the topic of colors, is believe it or not, because you work at Luxor as well, you can probably vouch for this. The same color on different leather bags could look completely, okay, not completely different, like not from white to black, but
different enough that I feel like you don't know it's the same color. So I'm like, wait, is that the same color?
Yes.
Because I have the same color, but this looks different.
Yes.
We have the Kelly 25 in the same color, or Kelly 28. And when I look at it, I'm like, okay, it's kind of different than my Birkin. So yes, I agree.
So so the Gris Tourterelle, if anyone knows how to pronounce that name, please mention in the comments. Teach us some French. We are botching all these names. I can't keep up. But Gris tea looks so different under Clemence leather or even under different lighting. I love that color because don't you feel like sometimes it has a mauve undertone in certain lightings, and then it's beautiful light, cool undertone all of a sudden.
Beigey, yes.
Like how is that possible? It's amazing what the Hermes colors can do, and all the different Hermes colors that they make out there. So just be mindful of that. For example, Etain is another color that looked completely different. With the product specialists here, sometimes they are like, oh my goodness,
asphalt?
Is it asphalt or is it Etain? Because on Epsom leather, it adheres, like absorbs the pigment different, whereas on Togo, it also absorbs. That's just a fun fact about Hermes colors. But okay, so you got gold on gold picotin. You have a beautiful B35 in Gris tea.
With gold
What
hardware.
is going to be your next color?
Okay, next I feel like I need black because I need to have another classic.
You have a lot of black
color.
Chanel though.
I do have a lot of black Chanel. So that's why when I went with my first one, I didn't care that it wasn't black because I already have so many black bags, and I thought, okay, I can do something different, and then eventually down the line later on I'll add a black one in there.
Black with palladium or black and gold?
Gold.
You're gold all the way.
All the way. So sometimes we get some in, and the first thing I check is the hardware color. If it's not gold, I don't even look at it.
Wow. Okay. Well, this is just a random question. Like, what is your least favorite color out of the Hermes colors.
Ooh.
Sometimes you just see a color and you're like, oh, it
Yeah.
irks me. I really dislike that color.
Okay.
And for whatever reason.
Oh, okay. So, nada?
You don't like nata.
Okay, yes.
Cancel this whole video.
I know, I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this comment, but I think because, same thing, it looks so different in different
That's
leathers
true.
and different bags. And so I've seen it in 2 or 3 different types of leather. And I think just because it varies so much, I'm not drawn to it.
Wow.
It's kind of like,
I
it's
am
not a
so
nice
shocked.
off-white. It has like a yellow, undertones to it, like eggshell
Oh my
kind of.
goodness,
I don't know
you
how
guys.
to explain it.
Nata
Okay.
is right here.
Okay, so I'm going to say this one I'm okay with.
Oh, because it's an Epsom.
It's an Epsom. So I feel like an Epsom, it's a safe choice and it's beautiful. But in Togo,
Togo, and probably because when you're seeing it on palladium hardware, it also like fades out the color a
Yes.
little bit. It doesn't bring
True.
that also affects
True.
what the color looks like depending on what hardware
Yes.
I feel
Yeah.
is on there.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much,
Yeah.
Lana. If you guys like this video, subscribe, hit that like button. We'll see you in the next video.